What would you do for money? Would you trap the person you love in a virtual prison? Would you sell their suffering as entertainment? And what would happen when they finally remember everything you did to them? This isn't just a game about making money. It's a story that forces you to become the monster. Hi everyone, I'm NotWalm, and today we're breaking down the complete horrifying story of Bloodmoney 2, also known as the Human Expenditure Program. We'll follow a wife's dark descent into villainy, explain how her perfect prison begins to crumble, and analyze the devastating consequences of the true ending. So boot up the program and let's get started. Our story begins with Harvey Harvington, a woman in serious money trouble who makes a terrible choice to escape her debt. She places her husband Harvey into a virtual simulation, a digital cage where he believes she is simply taking care of him. In reality, she has turned his life into a product. Each day she runs the simulation, and at night she uploads the footage as a game called Bloodmoney, earning a massive $25,000 per session. The gameplay is a cycle of cruel exploitation. Unmi must keep Harvey's stats up by buying him food and playing twisted, violent minigames with him. At the end of each day, she hits a reset button, wiping his memory to keep him under control. But the cracks in her prison begin to show early. On just the second day, Harvey mentions having a bad dream that he couldn't shake.
You know, I had the oddest feeling last night. Like a bad dream I couldn't shake. I can't remember it, but I feel like something bad happened.
The first sign that the trauma is bleeding through the reset. Meanwhile, their son Toby is in the real world, asking when his father is coming home, completely unaware of the truth. The pressure builds on day 3, when Harvey becomes more aware of his situation. He asks Unmi how long he's been in the simulation and, more importantly, when he can see their son Toby, saying,
I missed the little lad.
This is the first time he directly questions his imprisonment. In a cold, manipulative response, Unmi dodges a question, telling him the simulation needs his full attention, and that he'll see Toby soon enough. She is no longer just resetting his memory. She is actively lying to keep her experiment going. Everything changes on day 4, when Unmi gets a message from a player. They report a bug. Harvey grabbed a knife and triggered a game over. This was never part of the plan, and Unmi begins to panic, fearing that Harvey is somehow fighting back from inside the code. Her fears are proven right when the simulation glitches. Harvey wakes up with a deep gash on his hand, a physical wound from a digital event he can't remember. The violence is no longer just a game. It's becoming real for him. From there, the system breaks down quickly. On day 5, Harvey appears with a gruesome bleeding eye injury, begging Unmi to let him go see Toby. He is in constant pain and his trust in her is starting to break. In a moment of desperation, a new free minigame appears. Save Harvey. A frantic mission where Unmi must protect the tiny version of her husband from a swarm of attacking eyes. A literal illustration of her trying to save him from his own breaking mind. But here is the cruelest twist. The minigame is a lie. No matter how well you play or how many eyes you squash, you cannot win. It's a hopeless, unwinnable scenario designed to make Unmi feel the same powerlessness that Harvey has endured. It's the system's way of explaining that it's too late for apologies or half measures. Harvey can no longer be saved. With Harvey's fate sealed, the story can only branch into 2 devastating endings. Dead ending. Before we can get the true ending, it's important to know how we can fail the game. The dead ending. This happens if Unmi neglects Harvey's needs by failing to keep his health and mood meter up. The simulation simply ends, showing his lifeless body with a cold, uncaring message. It appears you didn't take good care of him. This ending explains that even inside this horrible system, pure neglect leads to its own tragic end. True ending. On day 6, the simulation is beyond repair, and this leads to the true ending. Harvey appears as a broken, decaying monster who is now fully self-aware. He confronts Unmi, screaming,
You've been using me for what? Money? Entertainment? What kind of sick fucking game is this?
It's not like that. It's just...
Nurse! I don't fucking care what you have to say!
He knows everything. The resets have failed, and his mind is now a mix of a decade of memories and days of digital torture. In his final moments of clarity, he unloads the full weight of his betrayal, yelling,
You've taken everything from me! You've taken my freedom! You've taken my son! You took our life and you sold it for a goddamn game! You took me and you killed me! You fucking killed me!
With his last act of defiance, he opens a command prompt and deletes the system files, destroying the simulation from inside and shattering the screen. He chooses digital suicide over another moment in her prison. With Harvey gone and the program destroyed, Eunmi is left with nothing. She has become the villain in a horror story you never wanted to write. The very players who paid to watch Harvey suffer have now turned on her. The game's website is a firestorm of terror, with users posting her personal details and reporting that the game is nothing but a cry for help from Harvey. Her get-rich-quick scheme has ended in her complete ruin. The story concludes with the most chilling line of all. And this time, there's no reset button to save you. So what is the ultimate story of Bloodmoney 2? It seems like a simple tragic story of betrayal, but when you look deeper, it becomes a dark and disturbing warning about exploitation, trauma, and the desire for control. Let's talk about how this game changes things. In the original Bloodmoney, we were just a player finding out the horrors as we went, but here we play as the creator, Eunmi. We are the villain at the very beginning. The game's horror isn't about jump scares. It's about the horrible choices we make to torture Harvey for money. This forces us to face the evil we might be capable of when we're desperate. The game's most important feature, the reset button, is a powerful symbol. Eunmi thinks she can erase the pain and suffering of each day with a single click, but the story explains that this is a fantasy. The glitches and bugs, like Harvey remembering the pain or the knife, are his real self fighting to get through the program's code. It's a terrifying lesson that you just can't delete trauma. It always comes back, and trying to ignore it only makes the final breakdown worse. Harvey destroying the system at the end proves that no matter how much you try to control someone, their desires to be free can be stronger. This is a story about turning a person's suffering into a product to be sold. Eunmi literally packages her husband's pain and sells it to the world as a game called Bloodmoney. This is a criticism of how modern entertainment can profit from real human tragedy. The game's own description jokes about the burden of responsibility carrying after a real living human being inside a computer program. The same players who paid to watch Harvey suffer are the ones who expose Eunmi's personal information and turn against her. She wanted to make blood money from the public, and in the end, that same public came for her. But let me know your theories. Drop all your thoughts down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this dive into the Human Expenditure Program, please be sure to smash that like button, share and subscribe for more explorations of dark and fascinating horror indie games. Thanks for watching, I'm NotWalm, and I'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe, and remember that some things, once broken, can't be reset.